postmortem continues to bounce around the echo chamber of the NBA on a laughably bad Laker offseason. There are many people who are just relishing, me included, in what has gone on, how just humiliating it's been, emasculating for the once proud Laker franchise that they have embarrassed themselves this offseason. And everyone that knows basketball has agreed that this is just a hot mess. It is a hot mess. Russell Westbrook, what are you doing? What are you doing trading for Russell Westbrook and the other old geezers the Lakers brought in? Well, it sounds like the message has reached LeBron James. And LeBron is not a fan of the critique that is going around. And I don't know if you saw this or not. Maybe you missed it. You had to look quick because it didn't last very long. But LeBron James chastising those of us who have highlighted the garbage that the Lakers have put together. King James scoffing at the pushback on social media. He said the following, quote, "Keep talking about my squad. Our personnel ages." I think he misspelled that. I think he meant personal ages. The way he plays, he stays injured. We're past our time in this league, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. James grumbling. Post continued. "Do me one favor, please," in all caps. And I mean please in all caps. Keep the same narrative energy, all caps, when it begins. That's all I ask. Hashtag thank you. LeBron blustered. Now, for reasons beyond comprehension, a short time later, LeBron deleted the tweet. You'd think by now, with all the dumb stuff he sent out, he realized you can't delete something. It's there forever. Once you send it out, send it and forget it because it's not going away. It's not going away, but he tried to delete it, but the damage was done. So let us discuss the question, where are you at on the LeBron James deleted post where he calls out the haters? Now, it's revealing is what it is. My thoughts on this, you've got Madonna, rocking chairs, and KFC. And we will tie all of these things together. Now, we'll start with this. LeBron James, here's what I think happened. He had an epiphany. We know he's an egomaniac. All these top-line athletes are egomaniacs. LeBron, though, considers himself omnipresent. Sees and hears everything. It's driving the man crazy that so many people around the basketball world have called out his shenanigans of roster building. And think of this deleted tweet as a trip to a confessional booth. It's like the lyrics of that old Madonna song from back in the day. "Oh, Father, I have sinned." King James is confessing to botching the transactions that have taken place in recent weeks. Everyone and their mother knows LeBron is the de facto GM. What is my evidence? No major roster move. None are made without LeBron signing off on them, giving his John Hancock on the moves. And this guy, Rob Pelinka, is just a guy that dresses in skinny jeans and suits, and he's merely a figurehead. Think of him as a sock puppet. That's what Rob Pelinka is. And as a result, the reason that we had this reaction by LeBron James, it's human nature, this criticism was personal. It struck a nerve for LeBron. Otherwise, why would he care? He's not the one making these moves. The only reason you would care this much is if you were the one making the moves, right? Otherwise, it's not your problem. It's someone else's problem. Why would you be worried about it? You wouldn't be worried about it. Put yourself in those shoes. You wouldn't be worried about it. That's the GM's fault, not my fault. Now, part B of this, as for the rebuttal from this side of the microphone, all right, now, I will be very happy to honor LeBron's request to keep talking about my squad, our personnel changes, the way he plays. He stays injured. We're past our time in this league, et cetera, et cetera. We are more than happy to oblige. We are more than pleased to make your dreams come true, LeBron. Spoiler alert, it's all fair criticism. It's all fair criticism. The Lakers have put together a collection of fossils. Fossils, they should be in a museum. Instead of chairs on the bench, the players will each sit on their own mahogany rocking chair. That's what they're going to do. And you can hear LeBron yelling out, back in my day, we didn't have fancy iPhones and high-speed internet. All we had was flip phones and AOL dial-up. That's all we had. This car is a clunker. It's a clunker. And we're happy about that. Listen, this is good news. This is really good news for those of us that love to see the demise of the Lakers. It is a roster that is beyond description. It's behind the times. Russell Westbrook has always been and will forever be a liability in playoff basketball. He'll put up his stats. He's one of the great prolific stat stuffers of our time. If you don't believe me, go on YouTube. There's a million videos from his Oklahoma City days of how they conspired to get him bogus statistics, and teammates would run away from rebounds like it was a hand grenade so he could get them. And you never see that with most NBA players because everyone's looking out for themselves. But in Oklahoma City, when he played there and became the triple-double god, it was dubious, shall we say. Now, LeBron, for some reason, wouldn't say his name, but we know that's who he was talking about when LeBron pointed out that the way he plays, that was clearly a reference to Russell Westbrook. Why did he name him? He didn't name Anthony Davis. That when you heard he stays injured, it is a clear reference to Anthony Davis, which, by the way, is also factually correct. I believe he played 30-something games last year for the Lakers. The guy's always hurt. The only reason that he didn't get hurt the year before was because of the bubble. They had 4 months off. That's why that's a bogus championship. These guys are collectively, the players they added are past their prime. So where's the lie? There's no lie. You just don't like the truth. You can't handle the truth. And what you see is what you get, period. Hard stop, right? Defense is a casualty of having older players on the team. That's a reality. And the last word on this. So the Lakers, they don't have a team song, but if they had like a nursery rhyme, it would be, it's raining, it's pouring, the old man is snoring. That would be what it would play out. As my dear old mother taught me, everything in moderation, including the age of the players on your roster. In order for a team to work, you need to have the KFC secret recipe, 11 herbs and spices. If it's too old, it's bad. If it's too young, it's bad. It doesn't succeed. Now, what is my evidence? Let's go to the numbers. The highest average age of an NBA champion since 1952. Holy crap, 1952. Now, this is weighted by playing time. The oldest team to win, the 1998 Chicago Bulls. The Last Dance. They were over 32 years of age, 32.1. Among the other teams that have won who have been older, the Mavericks in 2011 had an old team with Jason Kidd and Dirk Nowitzki and those guys. They were 31 and a half years old, average age. The Bulls of 97, again, Pippen, Jordan, the end of that run, 31.2. And the San Antonio Spurs of 07, averaged 31 years of age. Now, for comparison's sake, the Lakers, their average age now is almost 33 years old. So 32.8. But wait, there's more. The average age, you go back to the last 10 champions. So in recent times, I'm going way back to the Bulls of 1998. But if you go back to the last 10 years, 10 champions, the average age of that team that won the championship is 28.4. So the Lakers are over 4 years older than that. Now, it's not all bad news for the Lakers. And for LeBron James, who's, it's like a pie to the face here when people are goofing on you. You deserve it. You screwed this up. Bad job by you. Maybe you shouldn't have spent so much time promoting Space Jam and should have focused on getting younger players to join the Lakers. Anyway, the Laker roster now will pass the American Constitution test because they now have, by my count, I believe we are up to 6 Laker players who are eligible by age, according to the American Constitution, to run for United States president. When you have 6 players on your roster that are old enough to run for president, that is not good. You've done something terribly wrong.